Hello, my name is Mariana, and today this is a reading for Gemini. So, Gemini, as usual, I'm doing this reading with my own tarot deck, so the cards that you'll see are from this deck. So, I'm saying Gemini, but to be honest, this could be very well a collective reading, and I do consider all of my readings collective readings. The signs, they are only the entryway, something that Sen told me a while ago when I started the channel. And it just makes sense to me. So I'll just keep this reading as a Gemini reading, but just so you know that this is intended for the collective, right? Perhaps like a part of the collective that resonates with what this message has to bring. And it has to do with a sense of unity, but how unity can be perceived in so many different ways, having so many different facets, because we're beginning with the World card. And the World card, at the same time that it talks about oneness, because it's like this big, it's almost like this big point of view, right? It's like this totality, this understanding of wholeness, which could be very difficult to grasp, at least from our human perspective. But maybe Gemini, you being very smart, very intelligent, and being so curious as to kind of like discover new perspectives, right? Yesterday it was all about having this new perspective, like rising your vibration, or like elevating your perspective, right? But for you, it's almost like you have this ability to perceive multiple perspectives or multiple points of view all at once. So it's like you do have the ability to perceive this totality, this sense of unity, the sense of oneness, but at the same time, you can see how this one thing is made of different small parts or fragments or connections. It's more than the fragments. It's more like because it's not like, one fragment plus the other, it's, equals this entire thing. It's more like the web. It's like the connections, the lines that are interconnected, right? It's like they are crossing. There's something about the crossing that is here, but it's almost like where you are is, this crossing between, it's like one of these lines and one of these. So it's like the horizontal and the vertical, they meet in, and the meeting point is you. It seems to be your consciousness. It seems to be where you are. But there is a little bit of a trick here, Gemini, because it's almost like to have or to reach this level of seeing the world as a whole, as a unity, and at the same time understand or be able to zoom in and out, right? It's like zoom out and see the planet, the world as one, but also when you zoom in, it's like you perceive the differences, but the differences, they're not contrary to unity. That's the thing. That's the trick here. It's like maybe that's the challenge, because the Nine of Wands is coming next, and what this was showing me is that every path is right. And I know that it's not a matter of right versus wrong. It's not a matter of the multiple being the opposite to unity, right? It's like one is the other and vice versa, right? It's like this is one thing, but it's also multiple. You see what I mean? And so it's just reminding me of something. I was just wondering whether or not I should share it with you, because it's a little bit complex. It has to do with the understanding of dimensions. And the first time, years ago, I can't remember when, but it was before the pandemic, when I first discovered Matthias Stefano. So that was back in 2015, perhaps. I remember that the first time that I heard him talk about or explain in a very simple way the complex web of interconnectedness between dimensions, it made me realize that things are way more connected than we realize. And, just using the image that showed up in the Taurus reading yesterday about the ladder, right? maybe we simplify things in a very linear way, thinking that, you know, our dimension is, you know, this step up from the 2D, from the 1D, and then the, you know, the 4D or the 5D. It's like, you know, this just moving up ahead in this ladder, but it's not like that, right? Dimensions, they don't work like that. They work more like this. So it's almost like before we can reach this point, Gemini, it's like we have to tend to the message that showed up in the Taurus reading so that we can have the higher perspective. And then from that point of view is that, you know, you and I and us all, we're going to really perceive the whole and the multiple parts that make the whole one thing, and also multiple things, like this unit. And so the Nine of Wands, you know, it's fascinating because it's like just ending that thought on the Matthias Di Stefano explanation of the dimensions. When he reached the 9th dimension, and it's almost like he was explaining how dimensions, it's like they're multiple, like infinite. But he was explaining, you know, from the 1D to the 9D, and how actually through what is the name of the toroid, right? It's like the 9D and the 1D are actually one and the same thing. So it's almost like this is what I'm seeing here. It's like, you know, if we think of the 9D, the 9th dimension, as like this splitting of many different consciousnesses or many different layers or lenses or ways of seeing, right? It's like it goes back to unity. So this is the reason why the Nine of Wands can be challenging, right? Just talking about the traditional explanation, the traditional meaning of the Nine of Wands, there is only one path, but it's almost like this matter of choosing how you want to perceive this one path, because the challenge is to see this as different or separate, right? Seeing this as fragmented when it's actually not. And so, you know, because I've been saying that the Nine of Wands to me, you know, it's come to me as this path of flowers, that one needs to adjust the vision to be able to perceive the flowers before they even bloom. And so this is almost like this. It's like this adjustment in your vision, which you seem to be maybe the perfect doorway, Gemini, because of your ability to not control your mind, but direct your mind, because you have direction, right? Because we do have the direction card here, which is the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords to me was giving me this, it's like tracing back to the beginning, which is this 1D, right? This one direction. So it's fascinating how it goes from unity to multiplicity and then to unity again, right? Because it's like there are multiple challenges, but it's actually just one path, just one direction. And what I was perceiving with the Ace of Swords also is that there is no right or wrong path, right? There is no right or wrong decision to go this or that way, which is so fascinating, because yesterday the split in the path, right, with the Devil card in the Taurus reading, here it's almost like this confirmation, and maybe you're the one to bring up this, because, you know, you're also the communicator, you're also the translator, you're also the spokesperson for an idea that is now being it's like it's being spoken, it's being revealed, it's being seen. It's more than being seen, it's like it's being communicated, right? It's like, because to me this is also like speaking up. You know, I woke up and I felt this sensation that I needed to speak up, like I needed to speak up. And this is actually something that has been slowly coming up to me. You know, maybe you remember this from the last readings, that I was talking about how the Mercury retrograde was all about listening and adjusting my hearing. But now, especially today, like I woke up with this feeling of I need to speak up. And when I say I know that this might sound crazy, but when I say I, it's not the I, me, Mariana, it's me, the I am. You see what I mean? Anyways, because it's like this universal truth that gives this one direction. So it doesn't really matter where you're going, because it's like you are already in the truest path, no matter the challenges, because you are choosing to see the beauty despite the challenges, right? The challenges there just because there is this separation in terms of perceiving the multiplicity and the unity. But if one chooses, like I feel like you are, it's like if you choose to see the beauty despite the challenges, it's like you will see that this one direction, it's just moving us all forward, right? If you are going forward, then you are already moving in the right direction. There is no right or wrong direction, which is so, now that I'm thinking about the Mercury retrograde, sorry about the noise. If you think of the Mercury retrograde, right, any retrograde really, it's just a perspective from Earth, right, which is so fascinating. We're talking about the Earth's perspective, right, which is now becoming multiple, but also like this unit, right? It's like this it's almost like the consciousness of the planet is understanding this, that is at the same time multiple but also like one. And so yes, despite the challenges, it seems like this universal truth is being unveiled, right? And so for you, maybe you're the one who has this realization, Gemini, and you're the one who is able to communicate that in a simple way, just like Matthias Stefano was able to do so in explaining to, you know, common people, to regular people, like the complexity of dimensions, right? This which is so far out there, right? But it's also so close, right? There is no separation. It's almost like we are inhabiting all dimensions at once, right? Because this is who we are. It's like this is what the I am is. So you seem to be cracking that code, and you seem to be gaining a little bit more momentum to just keep moving forward. However, there is this it's almost like there is this pebble on the way, which is your own mind. There's something that is still, you haven't really cracked that to the fullest, because the Knight of Pentacles, it's kind of like there's something, it's like this nutshell that you need to crack open in your mind, right? You see here how the pentacle is in the mind, and you know it's also about the word that is coming through is shell, but it's helmet, right? The helmet is like the shell. It's like it's like the skin, right? That needs to be cracked open. It needs to be peeled, but it needs to be peeled with this piercing truth. So it's something that is, it's, let me explain like this. It's almost like it doesn't really matter where you're going, right? It's not a matter of being concerned about the path, the mission, right? It's like, it doesn't really matter what is your mission, because I talk about the mission just because the Knights, it's almost like they are moved by mission, right? They need to have this truth that guides them towards a goal, towards a purpose, towards a path. But here, since the path, it's just one, right? It's giving this clearer direction forward, this one direction, right? Which seems to be the one universal truth. It's like that is, it's almost like that has the strength or the momentum to pierce through something that is still resisting. There's something that is in your mind that is still resisting. So it's almost like maybe just perceive, right, while you hear the words that I'm saying here. It's because it's almost like, you know, there's something that is being translated or is being communicated, and somehow it's stumbling upon this stone, this pebble, this nutshell, this something that is creating some sort of resistance. But I want to say, to be honest, from what I'm perceiving, from what I'm seeing, from what, oh my God, sorry about the noise. There's something that it's not going to prevent this motion forward. It's not going to block the way. It's not going to make you stop or make you, it's something that just keeps on moving independent from what you think about it, right? It's like the truth is always true, independent of what you think about the truth, or what you know, or what you understand by truth, right? The truth is always moving forward, and it's like it's always going through us, going through our mind, going through our beingness. And so here there is a little bit of resistance, but I want to say it's like, to be honest, from what I'm seeing next, it's like you're taking the steps. Let me already show the cards. You're taking the steps with the Two of Pentacles. The Two of Pentacles, to me, usually it shows me these steps forward. But today, the Two of Pentacles is showing me this, the steps on the sand. So it's almost like leaving a trail that is going to be, it's going to be, what is the word? It's like, what I'm receiving is like it's going to be buried, but it's not exactly that. It's like it's going to be washed away by the water, by the waves, right? So it's almost like there is some sort of momentum, but your resistance to it, it's actually going to sweep off. It's like your trail, and it's important that you leave a trail. It's almost like, I don't know how to explain this, but it's almost like your trail is significant because it's like this is what creates the path, or this is what makes the flowers bloom, because it's the seed, right? You know, to me, the true value of the pentacle is that it has potential to blossom. And so this is what changes the challenges from being perceived as a difficult thing into becoming opportunities for beauty, for growth, for overcoming challenges and all of that. And so truth is always true. It's like it's independent from what you think of the truth. It's not a matter of thinking about the truth. It's a matter of being truth. And so this is what is the challenge. It's like something that you have, it's like it's crystallized, right? I'm just thinking about the pineal gland and how the, what is the thing in the toothpaste? Oh my God. My sister is a dentist. I can't remember the word. Oh my God, what is the name? The substance that every single toothpaste has in it to keep our teeth healthy in a sense, but it calcifies the pineal gland. And so whatever it is, I can't remember the name. It's going to come through. Fluor. In Portuguese is fluor. I don't know the name in English, but anyways, maybe you know it. So the important thing is, it's like there's something that is calcified. It's like it's become like a rock. It's become so dense that it needs piercing through. It needs, otherwise you won't, it's like you will still forge ahead, right? It's like this is the movement forward. Wherever you're going, you are always moving forward. Therefore, it is true. This movement forward is true, right? But it's like you're not going to leave the trail. It's too fragile, or it's too unclear. It's almost like it's too maybe shallow, it's the word. It's like it's too easily forgotten or washed away, right? And so there's something that you can do, and I feel like you are already doing, but in a way you're doing not just with your beingness, not just with your presence, although that is also part of it, because we do have the Five of Pentacles. And as I said, this is the crossing, right? The crossing that I was mentioning between the lines, right? So it's almost like this is, oh my God, it's giving me the image. It's so amazing. It's like it's so connected to yesterday's reading. So remember when I was talking about the devil, if you didn't watch the Taurus reading, right at the end of the Taurus reading, I was talking about this split, right? The break in the path. So it's like this one path that at some point got broken, got split, and It's now needing to be stitched. And it's like, here is how we stitch it, right? Here is how you, Gemini, being the spokesperson, being the communicator, being the translator, being the channel to express through words something that is occurring. It's almost like it's occurring independent from us, but the more we know what is actually going on, which is this stitching, right, around the world, it's like we're going to leave a mark, because this is what the Five of Pentacles is doing. It's like it's creating kind of like these light bulbs that are just coming to life in the crossing, right? So it's almost like turning on these light bulbs to, it's almost like this is going to help this unity consciousness, perhaps. Because what I'm being given right now, it's almost like this this grid that it's been turned off, right? And so it gave the impression that this oneness was lost, right? But actually, now that, you know, the fragments are reconnecting with one another and are crossing paths, it's almost like each individual, right? Because to me, the fives, they talk about individuality, and this one specifically talks about integrity, self-integrity. So your steps, no matter how fragile, even though this pineal gland is like it's being cracked open, right? It's like there's still a resistance to this one truth, but it's almost like you are exactly where you need to be, because the truth will pierce through you, right? It's like you are in the right place at the right time, because it's like, because you're part of this web that it's being turned on. This is so crazy. It's like it feels like the world is being electrified in a sense. It's being turned on. The light is being turned on. So it's almost like the work that you're doing by speaking up, speaking the truth, being the speaker of truth, right? It's almost like it's not your truth, Gemini. Don't mistake that, right? It's not your truth. It's not your personal truth. It's the truth. It's universal truth. It's the truth that is beyond your opinion. It's beyond your vision, right? So maybe that's also part of the trick. Maybe that's also part of the resistance that needs to be broken. But here, it's like you're taking the steps that are leading you, no matter how fragile or how you have to insist, because they are eventually going to be washed, you know, and be forgotten. It's almost like you have to be there. It's like just reinforce each step, right? Just be present in each step of the way, because that's how you crack open your own mind. Ending here with another knight, but the Knight of Swords. So what you were doing here, it's almost like you were allowing truth to penetrate your mind. You see what I mean? That's the reason why it's not your truth. It's the truth that is like, it's and it's not passing through you. It's almost like is you. It's just that it's been, again, the ice cube image, right? The ice cube is melting. So what is giving space to, it's for this to be spoken. And so it's almost like you understand the significance of being where you are, because you are lighting up the world in a sense with the truth that is crossing you, right? It's like you are in this crossroads in a sense, because you need to be there, because you are the spokesperson for that exact location, right? And so what you're doing, it's like you're making sure that your steps are not going to be missed or are not going to be washed away. It's like they're going to be seen. It's like the words that you speak in truth are going to be heard, because you are hearing it. You are speaking it. You are being the channel. You are being it. Period. It's like you're being truth. You are incorporating truth. I want to rephrase that, because it's not like it's coming from elsewhere. It is in you. It's just that now it's being unlocked, cracked open. So you're being truth. You are truth. but now you're speaking it, right? That's such an amazing reading, Gemini. I'm very fired up. Okay, so I am going to pull more cards for you as well as the astrological runes in the extended reading. So if you want to join me there, I'll be very happy to see you. You can find the link down below. If not, I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.